Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. The journey continues today what is it? On January 24th, 2025, at approximately 4:26 p.m. PST. Now, I've made my life's journey to remind people that working together, we can make this a better world for virtually everybody. Now, I built myself as a spiritual guide because the tools I offer are the exact same tools I personally use in my day-to-day life. And the philosophies of life I talk about are the same philosophies I guide virtually every decision I make by. With this in mind, I know these tools will work for you because they continue to work for me and have literally worked for thousands of other people over the years with varying degrees of success, depending on their own personal efforts. Now, we are back today. Well, I haven't quite pinned down exactly when I'm going to be doing this, although it's looking rather promising that we'll be running the day in the office on Friday and Monday. That's what it looks like. It's not absolutely sorted out just yet, but I am trying to get things up and running in an organized fashion. So far, not so good, but what the heck. Now, right off the bat, JCL, how you doing? You are in with the gold. So I do hope the day is going well for you. I know my day is getting weirder and weirder by the moment. I'm pretty certain of it. And Nathan, you are in with the silver. Whoa. Let's kill that off. There we go. Yeah, I appreciate that, JCL. The reality is things got really hectic over the last little while. I've now moved the mainstream Positive Perceptions to 9 p.m. from Friday through Tuesday, 9 p.m. Pacific. There were a lot of reasons for that, but I also realized I left a number of people behind here. So what I've decided is this gives me a reason to really get to work on my own stuff in the office. I got to be here anyway, so I figure, what the heck. Now, what do we got here? Joe, you are in with bronze. How's it going, Joe? Yeah, and in case you missed that part, I am looking at coming on here regularly on Friday and Monday. That's tentative because, well, let's face it, my schedule gets screwy a lot of the time. But I figure I gotta be working in the office anyway, so I might just as well do something to that effect. Now, of course, in this case, I don't have moderators in here to speak of. I mean, absolutely, Nathan, you are here. If you see a problem, absolutely, when you're in, do me a favor and remove the problem. Okay. But the way I look at it is this. If there are problems, I will simply be ending the stream early. Because I'm not having another heart attack for anybody. Actually, in all fairness, I probably will have another heart attack, but I'm not about to have another stroke. So what I've got here, what I'm ending up doing is a lot of puttering of odds and ends I've got to get done. Whoop, that one where is. And like I've mentioned, the list method for me works extremely well. And again, guys, if you have questions, absolutely put them in the chat room. That's why I've got it up over here so I can actually see what's going on. Yeah, what do I got? Where is my pen? Right there. Whoop. That's now up and running. Okay. Now, I am happy to announce that, and it actually went live a while back, but these 3 books, the Believe in Yourself series, okay, we've got Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams, Believe in Your Business and Follow Your Dreams, and Believe in Your Finances and Follow Your Dreams are all these are, in this form, $20 Canadian, virtually anywhere in the world. However, what I'm happy to announce is that thanks to the efforts of Storm, we now have them available on Buy Me a Coffee. Oh, there we go. We now have them available on buymeacoffee.com/InnerVoiceJ, where you can get the PDF form of that book, of those 3 books, each for $10 Canadian, immediately transferred to your computer or whatever system you happen to be using. Now, what am I working on here? I do believe, like I said, I've got a number of figures that I'm working on. That one I'm going to need. And we'll pull that out. Like I said, I end up, because of this particular venue, this is the question of, I'm here anyway, I might just as well do something with it. Okay. Now, as you can see, I did a little bit more work on him. I'm just debating what color I'm going to work with as far as the shirt goes. Do believe we're going to do that. But let's get green working. What have we got here? Joe goes, just had a helicopter fly by over my house. Low enough, it shook the house. You really got, did you happen to catch what color it was? Which is the intriguing part. Because, if they're flying that low, they're looking for something or someone. Although it is an interesting setup. The reality is, when we look at what's going on, there's a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of attention being brought. And the one thing I have found out is that when we're looking at the way this world is running, there's all kinds of changes that really have to be taken into consideration. Not the least of which is, what are we overlooking? That's one of those little issues I look at going, okay, there's got to be a reason for it. But what the reason is, I don't know entirely. I can tell you this. When you start looking at the events that people are talking about, we really have to ask ourselves what's not being said. Like, why is all this information being put out there? By the way, this particular little figure that I'm working on isn't going anywhere. This one's going to go on my own wall. But I have decided that this is just one of those things I've been putting off. Now he can sit there. This is another one. This is a figure that I actually hadn't been working on earlier. Where are we? Yeah, it always works out well. Callie, how are we doing? Glad you could join us. Yeah, the weekend ought to be a little on the hectic side. I've actually got plans for the weekend as far as gaming and what have you goes. But the majority of what I'm doing is still going to be just a normal run of the mill for me. Right now, this is just simply me fixing and finishing off things. But the reality of it is, I'm starting to put together a list of Christmas gifts. Yeah, I know, it's just January. Fact of the matter is, I am a firm believer that gifts are better if you actually put some effort into working on them yourself. But that's just my personal opinion. What I'm doing here, obviously, is adding a second coat to eliminate the discoloration of it. Well, who do we got there? Should I take my glass off? Can't read. Susan, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I'm going to announce this as we go through the day, primarily because of the fact that I figure people have been asking, so I might as well get organized. So it's looking pretty promising that I'll be on here probably Friday and Monday for a day in the office to just keep things mobilized and keep things moving in the right direction for me. But it's really going to boil down to how well things work as to whether or not I stay with it. Because it really is a question of what I'm doing in order to keep myself motivated in some ways. Well, I appreciate that, Susan. We ran into some interesting snags, and in order to make sure that we had moderators, because I don't have them here, and I've got Nathan when he's got the time, so I figured I'd give it a shot, and it's looking like I'm going to be running Fridays and Mondays at 4:30. Okay. And with that, I appreciate that there, Nathan. And the reality of it is, from my end, getting things a little more organized is kind of important. Oh, there we are. This little guy I was working on yesterday. Nope, not yesterday. On the last run. This is a 10-headed Hydra. So I just figured, I've been having trouble finding time to actually work on these, or more to the point, making time. And since people periodically asked when I was doing them, I figured this is a good time to do them. Gets me a little bit more consistently organized. The thing I won't be doing while I'm on air is, I don't think I will, is writing. Because it takes a whole different level of focus. Now, the neat part here is as this evolves, we'll make better headway with it. At least that would be the theory. One of the biggest things. Oh, by the way, tonight we are actually going to be on Positive Perceptions. We're actually going to be discussing the chakras of the home. Because just like the chakras of the body, chakras of the home will determine how well the home runs. Now, see if this works. There we go. Oh, Nathan, since you're hanging around, I did take a look at that email, and by the description that you send, I would be inclined to say, like I texted you back, you're likely looking at a renegade group. In other words, an assembly of people, not by the sounds of it, from the same race. They are likely an affiliation. which does not make it any less frightening than actual abduction. But I do believe he's been fed information to do virtually nothing but scare the daylights out of it. Okay, because what he's talking about does not mesh with anything that I'm aware of. Now, that doesn't mean it's not accurate, that it's not happening. It simply means it's something I've run into personally. And let's face it, we all know I'm not exactly a researcher per se, which creates some side effects to it, because I don't have a way of verifying or of proving any of it. All I can look at realistically is whether or not what they're being told adds up. And if you think about it, the neat little thing, the biggest thing we have to look at is the fact that we are dealing with people that are claiming they're trying to supplant the human race. If that had been the case, I mean, we just use a little bit of logic. If that had been the case, why have they not accomplished it yet? Okay. Because the reality of it, from my experience, is it doesn't take that much to sort things out to that degree. But way too many people feed the idea of let's scare everybody. It just doesn't add up for me. Like I said, this does not mean it's not real. It just means I personally have never come across it. Now, what we've got here, what I'm doing is I've decided with this particular Hydra, I'm going to go with greens and browns for the coloring. So it really is an artist's interpretation. Reality of it is this: creatures on any planet tend to rely on camouflage a lot of the time just to survive. So, given what I know, what I already know, and what many people have surmised, especially if you take a look at mythology, when you look at that, okay, it stands to reason if an animal lives in the forest, it tends to stick to that coloring. And it's just a natural evolution sort of thing. Who do we got? Eyeballs. Tim James, how you doing? Glad you could join us. I think I missed something here, so I'm going to scroll back up. We have JCL in with the gold, Nathan in with the silver, Joe Stewart is in with the bronze, and Cowie Snyder, you actually ended up with honorable mention. Sorry about that. I missed that. But yeah, I am planning on coming on. As it stands, I'm looking at Friday and Monday from 4:30 p.m. probably until the 6:30, just to stay on a static base. But it really does mean by doing that, I'm setting aside time where I can do the painting that I've got to do. Because, the reality is I've got 500, a little more than 500 of these figures. And it's going to take some time, for some effort, and definitely some discipline to get them all done. Oh, I got to look at that. I'm just going to finish off the bottom of these jaws. I'm going to grab something else I'm working on. And again, this really boils down to way too many things have been put on hold. Don't worry about it. I've got two pairs around here. Yeah, I've been collecting these for a while. I actually had to take about 2 years where I didn't paint any of them because of the fact that my right hand was shaking way too badly. So now I'm in the process of clearing them off. But again, this is just one of those things I do while I'm in the office. I have to be here anyway. This morning was a little late. When did I get up this morning? This morning I actually didn't get out of bed until 5 o'clock local. And I am very happy to say that on the 3rd of February, my fiance is coming up to spend a week up here with me. So given the fact that we've been in a relationship now for the last 4 years, it's about time we start making things work. So that is what we're doing. That's going to be interesting. It's a good thing I don't claim to be actually a really good artist here. Because honestly, this is a terrible job that I'm doing. In my eyes, anyway. But we'll see how it goes. See, if you look at it, I'm actually working, and I don't think you can see that very well. I'm actually working at putting this light green on the belly. But there's only so much I can do with it. And again, guys, if you have a topic that you feel would be good to broach on Positive Perceptions, absolutely, it would be really appreciated if you let me know. Because it really boils down to there's a staggering amount of information, or for more to the point of misinformation, that I'm finding all over the place. Not the least of which is the number of so-called professionals and or whistleblowers that seriously are still talking about an alien invasion. The one thing I really got to ask is how many people actually believe these guys will wait that long for an invasion. Because I'm looking at it going, they've been here forever and a day. Why wait for an invasion? And for that matter, even if they were, how would humans with their limited technology ever find out about it? And by the way, before you jump on that, yes, I know governments have higher technology levels than what they're telling you. And by the way, higher levels of communication. But I'm not here to pick a fight with anybody. I'm just here to remind people that frankly, there are things that add up and things that don't. And the concept of an alien invasion, or the fact that we're a prison planet, I mean, think about it. If we're a prison planet, why are so many abductions taking place? I mean, it's pretty shoddy security, if you ask me. I got to show you this, because that's got to dry anyway. So pop that up there. We'll grab brown in a minute. But here's what I wanted to show you, because I got to get started on this too. This little bag here. I saw a recording the other day. It was funny. Somebody was talking, and there was this gentleman that's crocheting his own blankets. Where did it go? There it is. Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. This thing here, I gotta remember how I did this. But this is a blanket I've been working on for quite some time, and then I stopped working on it when I had my stroke. I do think it's about time I got back to it, but I gotta remind myself how to go about it. That's gonna take a little bit of work. But if you think about it, this particular blanket is the way this one started out. Both of these I actually made. But again, this boils down to different aspects that I'm working with. Now, where are my eyeballs here, just in case? There we are. Yeah. I appreciate that, Susan. Yeah, Susan's going, they're getting, the prisoners are getting, and the people that are getting abducted are getting pardoned. I don't know about you, but given the option of being imprisoned or being probed, I think I'll take the imprisonment. Not happy with the other option. Rest assured, been there, done that. Wasn't fun the first time around, nor the next several. Oh, there we go. I missed that one. Now, one of the neat little things I'm working on with a number of different projects I got on the go. As you can see, I'm a little scattered on occasion with things, but take this gentleman and he's dry. And no, we're not having gold here. That's just a bad idea. Espresso, aka dark brown. So we take that, grab this. I did not need that. Okay. Now, grab another paintbrush. One thing I did find for those of you that are kind of going down that road, and like I said, I am no professional painter by any functional stretch. But the one thing I have found, like I use acrylic paints. But what I found is if you take, like what I do here, this is my water, okay, not drinkable. That, all I do is heat it up. I just put a cup of water in the mic for a minute, heat it up, then add a little bit of soap. Now, in my case, I use Dawn, just standard dish soap. It has saved me a staggering amount of paintbrushes. Because while they're still wet, I put them into that concoction. Now, I will warn you, when you go to do that, heat the water up on its own. Do not put anything in it. Okay, I've made the mistake a couple of times where I turned around and put the soap in before I heated the water. This ends poorly. Because whatever happens, the chemical change during the heating process makes the soap overload and spills all over the place. So I recommend you don't do that. Now I do have another project that I will be working on. Okay, And after I get a little of this done, I'm probably going to get it just to show you to get into my working field. Because I find by bringing things into the open, it gets me organized and gets me focusing on them. Now, I have to remember to put my glass on. I can't read the screen over here. Okay. But again, I tend to ramble. But like I said, if somebody's got a question, absolutely put it in the chat room. Put it in all caps so I can actually find the thing. And I will be more than happy to do my best to answer questions. Now, if you look at the top of the chat room, you'll find a link to www.buymeacoffee.com/innervoicej. On that site, you'll be able to find any of the books that I'm working on. And any more to the point, you'll be able to find any of the books that I've actually got in print. I will be moving them over into digital as soon as I can. Right now, the self-help ones are the only ones that are in digital for the moment. But we'll see what we can do about that. One of the ones I'm working on right now is literally believe in your organization and follow your dreams. And the reason for that is most people, when they desire to change the way their life is going, they don't know even where to begin. It's a cute thought that people make. Well, just ask for direction. Well, that's a great thought, with the little problem that most people don't know which questions to ask. Thank you very much for that, Nathan. I do feed off of what's in the chat room. And as Nathan has just reminded you, when you've got a question, please put it in all caps. The reason for that is because that way I can find the thing. If it's not in all caps, especially due to the fact I'm not exactly sitting still all the time, I may well miss it. But that's why I keep turning back to it. But pop that over there. The one thing I did find with the acrylic paint here is it soaks right into the plaster mold. As you can see, we are making headway. It just boils down to a little bit of persistence and a whole pile of organization. I went out for lunch today. And this will give you an idea how much I relax. I think I wrote 3 articles while I was having lunch, all of which will end up going into the free newsletter that I put out. And of course, the thing with Positive Perspectives, the newsletter come magazine, I haven't designed the cover for it yet. So at this point, it's still a newsletter. That seems to be the only difference. But, between a newsletter and a magazine, is a magazine has an actual cover, which is something I'll be working on. By the way, Nathan, this is directly to you. If you have any more information on the coloring of these people, or for that matter, skeletal configuration, that would be really appreciated. Now, it's funny because the tall blue ones you were talking about sound like an avian race, and I cannot for the life of me remember what the name is offhand. But I do know I've got it listed. See, the neat part about all this is I'm just working on it, parts at a time. Yes, I end up with several dozen different things on the go at once. But you'll be happy to know I was actually told by a psychiatrist one day that if you're getting things done of your own accord. Now, I am no medical doctor, so what I'm about to tell you is literally what I was told. Okay. I was told that if you're managing to get things done without being prompted by anybody else, you're not ADD. Okay. You may be hyperactive. Okay. But if you've got the capacity to self-directed complete projects, even if it takes you a while, you still aren't ADD. Okay. Now, that's probably an oversimplification, and absolutely, if you're talking to an actual doctor, bearing in mind I'm not one, do work with them. The tools I talk about are tools that you can use in tandem with actual medical guidance. That's the big thing. And does this ever suck up the paint? Now, of course, I'm looking at what I'm painting here, going, I'm just going to work with, I'm going to work with what I've got available, and I'll see from there. Up, we have something there I'd best be taking a look at. This is what I mean. This is what I mean by I keep an eye on things, or at least I try to. Oh, there we go. Oh, that ought to be entertaining. Yeah, I'll keep an eye open for it. But yeah, absolutely. I will take a look at what you send and check my notes once I'm done the stream here. Because I will be coming online again tonight. Okay, like I'll be online tonight with Positive Perceptions from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific time. It boils down to getting a little bit more visibility. And especially with that neat little thing I found out just last night. Oh, yeah, and I'll say this again anyway. Buy Me a Coffee has generated more money. It's generated a higher income for me than all of the thousands of dollars I spent on advertising prior to it. Okay. And honestly, that is because of you guys. Okay. Which reminds me, I gotta get that organized too. As I might have, it was funny. The psychiatrist that told me flat out I wasn't ADD. He goes, he says, you're definitely not ADD, but he says you might find you get things done a little more quickly if you weren't doing 15 at once. As you can tell, that doesn't really work well for me. Yeah, Nathan goes, homegrown is best. Paid advertisers are shysters. Grassroots wins it. Now, here's the neat thing. Okay, I've got a goal in mind for what I've got to be generating to run my house. I've got to be making $2,500 a month. That lets me live essentially high on the hog. Okay, but it lets me live comfortably. After that, I will be able to start actually putting money back into the community. Okay, on a regular basis. Now, everybody knows, that's part of a song. Virtually everybody knows that for advertising, you have to pay. Now, I don't know if you guys, I will give you time to answer this, but what do you feel is the number one form of advertising in the world, even today? Okay, I'm referring to in the world across the board. What is the number one form of advertising? And yeah, I'll give you a couple minutes to see if somebody comes up with an answer. In the meantime, now I gotta let this guy dry for a bit because as you can see, we're starting to get color into him. So I put that there, pop that into there, and we put that one back over there. Oh, well, that was a silly idea. Oh, no, that was espresso too. I forgot about that. So what we do here, I think that was the black one. Nope, that's green. There we are. Now, let's grab that brown back over here. And what do we got? Eyeballs. Here we are. Yeah, honestly, like Joe's just asking, 100% of the time, a helicopter flies real low over the house. They're looking for something, but not you. Is that usually the case? Quite honestly, if somebody in a helicopter is looking for you, odds are within minutes you will end up within minutes you will end up quite seriously having police cars or something to that effect show up on your doorstep if they're looking for you. As soon as they spot you, if that's what they're looking for, they're there. Okay, but you get to find that one out. Susan, you're absolutely right. Word of mouth is bar none the number one advertising method of advertising in the world. Now let me ask you this. Okay, do any of you know of any company that actually pays word of mouth advertising? Okay, the reason I'm asking is because most go, oh, it's really, it's very necessary, it's a very effective form, but nobody seems to pay it. I figured out why they don't pay it, but and when I'm talking about paying it, I don't mean giving a coupon or something that you can spend on their products. I mean money that you can spend however you choose. Most companies won't pay. Number one, because they don't know how to track it. Number two, because they figure they can get it for free, so why bother? See, I look at it this way. If I'm doing something and you send somebody to me, you refer somebody to me, then that person, if they buy something I would have never got that sale had it not been for the person doing the referral in the first place. So with that in mind, this is why I looked into trying to figure it out. Now, I'm not about to try and sell the method because quite honestly, trying to explain it is a royal pain. But I figured out how to do it. Okay. And it was really quite simple when I think about it. I was asked how I came up with it. I says, well, I woke up one morning, jotted it down, and it seemed to make sense to me. So I worked with it. And now what I'm dealing with is an interesting situation of just simply keeping on top of things. Yes, it does take a little bit of extra concentration to do this. But at the same time that's happening, I get a lot more accomplished. I keep forgetting what I did with my glasses. What we got here? Robert, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, it's funny. I've been looking at this, going, how am I going to make all of this work? And Joanne, how you doing? You know, yes, I did. I actually went out, trimmed my beard, got my hair cut. My fiance is coming out next week. Next week? Well, a week from Tuesday. A week from Monday or a week from Tuesday. I don't know, whatever the third is. Now I'm curious. I do know she's coming out here to spend a couple of weeks with me up here in Canada, which to me is great. You know, I figure we've been together 4 years. It's about time we start getting actual time to physically spend with each other. See, the neat part here, like as I'm getting this stuff done, it almost becomes addictive in some ways. You know, you start seeing project and you're seeing progress in your own life. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I can actually make this happen. Now here's the neat part. That book I wrote, Believe in Yourself and Follow Your Dreams, has exactly the same impact. Because as you start taking control of your own life and you start organizing things, you will find that you gain more energy and more focus on attaining your goals. And of course, somebody out there is going to go, well, do you guarantee it'll work? I don't guarantee I'll wake up in the morning. So, no. The only thing I absolutely guarantee is I will not lie to you to make you feel bad, to make you feel better. LA Moon, how you doing? Glad you could join us. You know, I figure just so that you're in the loop, I will end up, it looks like I'm going to be here probably Friday and Monday, back at the original time at 4:30 to 6:30, with a day in the office. But the primary reason for that is it does, I don't know if it's primary. One of the issues was real simple. I did end up shifting gears, but I've got to work in the office anyway. And as long as I'm paying attention to what I'm doing here and getting things done, it doesn't bother me having people in the room. And that's why I say, if you've got questions, absolutely ask. The neat part, like tonight, we're literally going to be looking at the chakras of the house, because I did find a really neat correlation between household functionality, for that matter, household or business functionality, and the chakras themselves. Where are we here? Yeah, from my standpoint, I really do appreciate that, LA, regarding Kira. We're looking forward to getting her back across the border. It's just sad to say that with the way the world's going, it could get really interesting. So we're looking at the whole 9 yards and striving to make things as permanent as we can get them. Which boils down to marrying her and getting on with it. Hence why she's now called her fiance. Ow! Well, that bit me. Oh, where did my paint? There it is. Paint. See, the neat thing is, like, a lot of people ask me, well, where do you start? If you're aiming at changing your world, where do you possibly start? Well, you start wherever you're literally sitting. Okay, you'll find that works so much better. Because the fact is, you have to pick someplace and starting in one area and working forward from there. What that does is you get to start seeing the impact right away. Now, you've heard the concept that places look worse. When you start the reorganizing period, places look worse and once you get started than they did beforehand. And that is true if you do it in the traditional fashion. Traditional being most people, what they do is they turn around and they start laying things out. They start by doing a mass rearrangement. Don't do it that way, in my opinion. Okay, and again, I am not listed as a professional organizer. I am a spiritual guide, and every tool I talk about, I do utilize them myself where applicable. This is why I can honestly sit here and go, I know these tools work. I tried something the other day. It was funny. I had a bunch of apples. Well, I don't know if it was funny. I ended up with a bunch of free apples. Well, I didn't feel like making applesauce. So I simply cubed them, tossed them into a freezer, and then periodically I'll take a bin out and mix it in with a bunch of rice. And I'll tell you, surprisingly enough, at least from my end, I like the flavor of it. And of course, it does mean that I get to have not only my fruit in my food, but it means I didn't throw the apples out. Because I figure there is more than enough waste in this world. I don't think we actually have to add to it if we can avoid it. Boy, that's a pain in the neck. Just about got this guy to the point where I can put him down. Say, watch, I'll put him down. You're short and you got way too many eyes. I'm not sure if that worked well because I don't think he listens that much. And somebody is writing something here. So what do we got? Where are we here? Much as I appreciate the thought there, guys. Joe, if everything goes the way we're planning on it, we're getting married at sea. That way, if it goes wrong, it's easy to get rid of the body. But we will figure out what we're doing with that. You know, but yeah, I was out in Michigan. Yeah, where was I? No, that was Maine. I've actually never been to Michigan, as far as I know. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, that's just terrible, Nathan. Yeah, we're making Appleborg. And as he put it, that's 7 of 9. I used to watch Star Trek all the time. Of course, we ran into a problem because they quit airing it, or at least where I knew it was, they quit airing it. Just looking at something, where the heck did I see it? There it is. Nice part about paint, because I've got to put a second coat on, I get to actually straighten it out afterwards as well. Gotta show you something, guys. Now, see how my hand is right now. Watch what happens if I let go of the concentration on it. That's why I had to stop painting for a while. Is because it got right out of hand. Pardon the pun, but so I literally had to stop so I could get things back under control to a degree. Yeah. Look at that. We are slowly making headway here. See if I can get this right. Now, let this guy dry for a bit. And go back to the other one. Where are we here? Okay. Yeah, just a curiosity thing there, Robert. Because I've actually been helping and been working on helping people with that as well. You know, the reality of it is that when you're working with your hands, if they're not working as well as you would like, you know, well, where are we here? Yeah, I mean it's neat. I keep finding new and exciting ways to mix things up. But one of the best things I found is literally, like, as you can tell, I don't do a whole lot like when I'm painting, because I use chunks of paint at the same time. What I do is I literally will turn around and make certain that I get it done properly. What I do believe I should do, as a matter of fact, once I get this hair done, I'm going to. Like I said, now we do not, for me, and it's always been this way around my house. Christmas and Christmas music, Christmas movies do not get turned on at all or sung until December 1st. Okay, now that said, I do encourage people, if you're putting lights out, to do so before it gets cold. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like working outside in the cold, much less any other time. But I've got a couple of gifts that I've actually had on hold for quite a while. And I got to look back into the movies. Like there's a Christmas gift I do desire to get finished this year and get out the door to the person it's for. See, you notice why I like this guy. Okay. I don't know. He's got sideburns. I've got sideburns. It kind of works out well. So what I'm working on is just getting these guys tied off, so I can actually rack off some of the tasks, some of the little projects I've been working on for quite a while. And of course, I will tell you, when I went into a massive depression, you may not have known it, but the last 2 years, I've been fighting severe depression and extreme disappointment with the way this world is. So I figure at this point, it's time to start doing something about it. Okay. Yeah, I think I saw something. I did so. Robert. Oh, there we go. Go way back up here. I did, but here's the problem with the funny thing with like Nathan's asking. Oh, that was to that. Okay, this is what I get for not following exactly everything in the chat room. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, I will tell you, Robert. If you with your hand, if your muscles are having trouble, just simply working with the muscles and just working with muscular modification. In other words, get them to deliberately move, even if it's just a little bit. All you do, if you've got sensation there, you've already got the ability to rebuild the entire nervous structure. Many doctors will tell you nerves don't regenerate. I'll tell you that's completely off kilter. They just don't regenerate quickly. What you actually do, the whole trick, is to simply modify the layout of the cells around the nerves and repurpose those cells to carry the nervous relay. Net result, you get the feeling and use of your hand back. And of course, somebody there is certainly looking at it going, well, you said your hand is shaking that badly, and that's why you had to quit painting. Well, it is. But the fact of the matter is, I have now slowed it down enough I can work with it. And ultimately, that's the real key. Find your own limits, find your own priorities, and just remember one extremely important factor. No matter who says it, the reality of it is you're the one that's got to determine whether something is possible. Now, I look at it this way. if I can make things happen and I can rebuild the energy in my own hand, then frankly, so can you. It just takes a little bit of focus. Yeah, what did I just see move? There we are. Oh, okay. Oh, right. Well, the good news there, Joanne, with what you're working with now, I'm a firm believer that you'll be able to help her get it. Of course, obviously, she's going to have to do the work. You're guiding her, encouraging her is imperative, but ultimately, she's going to have to do the work for it. The reality is, I've got a son that hasn't quite figured it out yet either. But by consistently working with things, you can make things happen. Okay. That can go back in there. And as you can see, we're starting to make headway. That'll have to sit and dry for a minute. Now, I wanted to grab something here. Whoop, let's not do that. Pop that over there. This, again, is something I keep an eye on. One thing you will find, and this is one of the reasons why I do it this way, is that I've got way too many things that are on the go and not enough to get done. What have we got here? Okay, let's see if I've got anything. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. So let's go see if I can find it. Absolutely, Joanne. I have no doubt that mom will actually do that your mom will actually do the work. The thing with artists is this, doesn't matter what artwork you're doing, whether you're painting, writing, drawing, it doesn't matter. Artwork is never finished. The artist just simply stops working on it. Now, that one I'm keeping for me. Some of these can be put away. And again, because I've got limited room to work with, I'll be working with him not tonight. Gotta get something else sorted around. So, I've got a drawer over here that's got all my little projects in it. These guys, these can go away now. That's my Hydra going away. Because I've done what I'm going to with him for the moment. Again, little bits and pieces, one after the other will solve the problem. Oh, this is somebody I was working on a little earlier. See, it's neat. the Tyrannosaurus Rex, when I was a kid, everybody assumed they were just straight gray. But if you ever notice nature, animals are extremely, especially reptiles, are extremely colorful. You know, and besides that, I grew up colorblind, so having things that have color to them is definitely a plus. But where did my coffee go? There it is. Put my coffee over here out of the way where I can't see it. So, yeah, I'm over here out of sight for a moment. I'll be right back, guys. I'm just going to grab something I know I got to work on. Whoops, don't want to break those. Okay. Some of you guys will recognize these. Pick them up. But these have a very specific person to go to. So, these I picked up a long time ago. Never got around to it. So I'm betting you guys can recognize who that is. At least the people my age can. Flubberlane, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Where are we here? Oh, excellent there, Joe. Now. Yep. Exactly, LA. That would be Bam Bam. And of course, the counterpart would be none other than. Now, the person this is going to happens to be a Flintstones fan. So I stumbled across these one day. Actually, I picked them up a number of years back, and never wasn't able to do anything with them. Now I can. So what I'm going to end up doing is getting them done. I mean, let's face it. I've got essentially 11 months left. Nope, this is Pebbles. Dino I haven't found. But I'm going to get these done. I've already got lacquer to do them with. Now, I wonder if I can find it here. I require. Oh, Bam Bam Plus, not. There. No, I don't need music videos, you dinglings. Images. There we are. That's what I required. Well, I didn't realize that. That's a bonus. Because now, that's funny. I've got one picture here with a green, with Bam Bam having a green club, and the rest are with brown. We're not doing that one. Yeah, I personally never really took to the Flintstones, but I couldn't believe the way things have been censored. You know, they're too chauvinistic and what have you. Do not get me wrong. In the real world, I absolutely I absolutely do not approve of chauvinism. I do not approve of narcissism. These don't go well. But I figure I had these. I might just well get them done. Now, where is that? Is that flat? Oh, that makes sense. We work with flesh tone. So I'm going to take the colors that are shown here. The neat part is I'm looking at these pictures going, I can see color. When I was growing up, I was colorblind. And bearing in mind I was colorblind, I had this neat little problem of I couldn't tell what color something was supposed to be. Now I can. So let us see. What do we got? Let's go back to here. Yeah, it might be an idea. What have we got? Joe's going, I've been having recurring dreams about the cemetery out back. Hopefully not the cemetery as in what Stephen King wrote about. That's usually a bad thing. So let us see if we've got a place to put these before I get started. Well, I don't actually have to. If we take that, which one is brown? That one's brown. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's been a while since you checked the trail cam. How's it there, Nathan? By the way, again, we are looking at chakras in the house and in the business tonight on Positive Perceptions. Because I will tell you, the more you understand about the way energy travels, the easier it is to actually make headway with it, to actually get it to work the way you desire it to. This is actually, in case you couldn't tell, the first time I've actually put the time into painting these. They won't be perfect, but they will be hand done. And like I said, when it comes to gifts, whether we are talking gifts for a birthday, for Christmas, just a housewarming gift, just a gift because in my opinion, it is so much better to put some effort into topping it off yourself. Like there's no way I would bother trying to figure out how to do plaster work and how to build forms. That's one of those fields I look at going, I just don't have the energy for it. What I've got going on here, I'll be able to actually get done and make it work properly. But it boils down to deciding what's proper. As you can see, it is coming along, but it does take some work. one or the other. Oh, what do we got? See, I turn my hand and somebody writes something, which is great. Oh, there you are. That ought to be an interesting journey there, Joe. You know, seeing what's actually going on in the cemetery. I will tell you, so many people tell me that cemeteries are like everybody's dead there. Tell you, for dead people, they move around a lot. But I do have a number. Once I get done this stream, then I go back to moving stuff over onto positive perception and perspectives. Because I've already done, I went out for lunch today, and while I was out, I ended up writing 3 articles. I mean, they're only short. But I have found a lot of people don't have a whole lot of attention span. Nope, did not want that. Okay, that worked out nicely. Okay, what am I looking at here? Okay. Well, you know, the nice part about it from my standpoint is this really does help keep me focused on what I'm working on. Now, where is... Should get that done. Sounds like being a little scattered on occasion. I got way too many things on the go, it would seem. What have we got here? You know, the neat part about it is what I'm talking about here is I've made decisions on how to change my life. And this is why I talk to you guys and say, look, these tools work. Like this list here, I know you can't read it because, well, the lighting's all wrong. But it starts at the top and runs all the way to here. Okay. I've only got I've only got 2 items left on the list that haven't been completed. Now, it was done there. Let us get a couple of these things out of the way. Back that back up because I'm not going to be working on it tonight. Where are we? We are, holy mackerel, really? You know, it's hard to believe I've actually been on air tonight for already an hour and 20 minutes. But I'm certainly not complaining about that. Now, let's see what we do about this. Do that in a minute. First and foremost, let's get some of this out of the way. I just simply dug this thing out to show you guys. But I'm not actually prepared to do anything with it at this point. So I pop it back in here into this bin. it's one of those projects I really have to get started on, or get back to rather, in order to wrap it up. There we go. Now this can go back where it says. That gets it out of the way. This has to be dumped into other work that I'm working on. So again, one of the biggest things one of the biggest things that I have to deal with, where are we here? Oh, absolutely. You enjoy yourself. Thanks for dropping in there, Ellie. And yes, we are still here, and we are still here for Positive Perceptions at 9 p.m. PST. This was just sort of an issue of, okay, let's see what we can do about getting things organized and actually moving forward with them. So, that one's done. I wonder if I've got an extra drawer here. That one, what's this got? Oh, that's got that stuff in it. Just checking the drawers here to see if any can be repurposed, as it were. Leave those there, those can go in the back. But not just yet. You'll find as you're doing your reorganizing, you'll find it very necessary to periodically clear the deck, and get it back where it was, in order to make sure that you're staying on top of things. Now, that I don't require. That one was green. That doesn't matter because it hasn't been used. So, let me see something here. Where are we? If we go to there. Yeah, they're both flex tone, so that gives me a lot to work with. Yeah, we can work with that. Okay. So, we take that and we find my flesh tone. I can't actually show you the rest of my desk because, well, the camera doesn't move. But what color? Blue. Worry about that afterwards. Okay. That's pebbles. Nope. Can't see. Now, gotta check and see. I think that goes all the way to the top. See, the form of the mold didn't take as well. It didn't provide as much detail as I would have liked, but it's the best one I can come up with, so this will work. So I'm just going to have to improvise with some of it. This is one of those neat little things where it's just, these are those tiny little projects that I've got that I work on. Whoops, where did we go? There we are. These are just some of the projects I've been putting off, and I finally figured out what to do with this whole setup. But again, if you've got questions, even if it's not about what I'm talking about, because in all fairness, I'm pretty much babbling. But this is why I say everything I talk about, where I say this is something that works. If it applies to me, I'm utilizing it. And that is the critical issue, especially in my opinion, if you're going to bill yourself as a spiritual guide, make sure you're using the tools you're talking about. That's what this boils down to. And ultimately, that is happening, in case you couldn't tell. Whoops, that was a near disaster. Nice part about painting with this stuff is if I do make a mistake, I can touch it up and cover the mistake up with fresh paint of a different color. Gonna have to take a look at that. Like I said, this boils down to I don't have really definitive markers to work with. So I'm doing my best to compensate. Gonna have to look at those eyebrows. Okay, what do we got here? Eyeballs. Oh, there we are. $27. Yeah, I don't know what it is here. I haven't actually checked. But no, I get a kick out of this. Nathan's out checking his trail cam. I'm presuming you just uploaded it onto your site. It's funny. And this is literally a question of my energy levels. I'm usually up very early in the morning. Today was late. Today I didn't actually get up until 5. But most of the time I'm up somewhere around 3, maybe 4. But that also means that quite often by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, I'm pretty much hooked. But that's why I keep telling people, I'm quite happy to come on other people's shows, but I gotta know what it's about, because I will tell you, I have found the whole concept of talking about politics extremely irritating. Because number one, I don't follow it, and there's a reason I don't follow it. But what I've found is way too many people aren't looking at the big picture. Not from what I see, anyway. But you gotta remember, just like I've got control over my life, you've got control over yours. The problem is you may not realize just how much control you actually have. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to start breaking down the different points in the house, so that you can see where, whether it's your house or your business, you'll be able to find a way to work with it. Okay. Now, you've gotten a fair chunk. As you can see, she's starting. Actually, you can't see that very well at all, can you? That's her flesh tone coming into play. And we take Bam Bam's here. The way I figure it, the only things that are going to make things work is if we actually put the effort into it. So now, because this is plaster work, at least I think that's what the stuff is, I'm just tracing it out and then filling in the bits. And I'll put another second coat on it later. There we go. We are making headway, there's no question there. But we have to stay focused. Like, I work with multiple different projects at once, because I work in various different paint modalities or colors. Probably not modalities. I'm learning as I go along. And that's why I say I'm not what you would consider a real good artist, but I will do the best I can. And of course, one of the important factors that I found is, as long as you're doing your best and not looking down on other people that may not be as talented as you are, there's no problem with looking at them and going, okay, here's something, would you like a hand? If they say yes, give them a pointer. If you found a way to deal with painting something that other people don't seem to have, you don't have to make money at everything you do, but it is critical you pay attention to the money you do earn and figure out how to utilize it effectively. In my case, I do believe that I've done that. Okay, as in found something that works. And now it's just a question of making certain I pay attention to it. Because what we're doing here is I've probably had these figures for 6-7 years. This year, I'm going to send them where they belong. And I strongly encourage you guys to start reorganizing things. This is the year. in spite of what's going on, or perhaps because of what's going on, this is the year to really take control of your own life and start reclaiming power over it. Absolutely, if you have a problem figuring out where to begin, drop me a line. Okay, I will deal with it personally. Consulting is simple. I've been paid literally more than $2,600 an hour. And yet, I'm only now charging, like I am getting back into the consulting side, but only at $20 Canadian every 15 minutes. Okay. The reason being, you may be a little lost. You may be requiring a little bit of guidance. Okay. Now, starting this year, beginning in January, I said, okay, I've had enough of running around in circles and dealing with being depressed and the side effects thereof. So now I'm looking at it going, how am I going to make this work so that I no longer have to deal with the depression? Well, I will tell you, depression is not always a personal choice. But whether you seek alternative methods, when you take a look at it, if you pay attention to what you're doing, you can actually reclaim total power over your own life and make things happen in a positive fashion. It will, however, or it can, become a little more complicated. And that's all that was. Where are we? Right there. So we're actually making not bad headway here. I do need to get things set up to handle a couple of other projects I'm working on. But that took care of that. So what I've actually done here, that can go in there. As you've seen, I've got a fair chunk of things already on the go. Now, coffee's over here. I do believe that I got, and well, I'm certain I had painting on here that I had to deal with today. Okay, got that marked. That's for tonight. Gotta read that. Okay, let us pull that one up. Minimize this for a minute. Where'd my ass go? Here we are. And the nice part about it from my standpoint is this. Because of the fact that I'm not putting a lot of weight into it, or if you will, a lot of concern. Why is book 3 missing? Book 1, book 2, book 4. Where the heck did book 3 go? That's going to really tick me off if that went missing somewhere. Because I don't recall opening book 3. Poems. Economics. Well, minimize that. Minimize that. That's the journal. It can be minimized. That's economics, which goes back over here. That does not impress me. Okay. I'm missing a book. Oh, wait a minute. Book 3, book 4. So where's book 5 then? 12. Oh, they're out of order. Okay. There's book 3, book 4, book 5, book 6, book 7, book 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now we're happy. Okay, I thought I'd actually lost it, but it just simply got moved around a bit. Which, in my world, is just plain normal. But I am going to require that one. Perfect. Yeah, the neat part about it, when you start looking at it, and like I mentioned the other day, I am working on, I've got a book that I've already laid out to deal with the chakras. Okay, where are we? That's that one. To deal with the chakras. And with that in mind, most people work with, most people look at chakras as in the living thing. But I'm here to tell you, and tonight we're going to be looking at just exactly what kind of impact the chakras around your household have on you. That's just the reality behind it. Now, let's get some of this stuff moved out of the way. Because sooner or later, yep, that'll work. These little guys, I gotta put these in. Where did my camera go? There we are. Now, these are ones I've had these. This is Pebbles. I've had her and Bam Bam around for years and just never worked on them. So now that I'm starting to work on them, because here's Bam Bam. He was straight white a little bit ago, but now we're starting to get them colored. So I probably won't do a lot with them on the weekend. I got a lot of other things on the go. But at least I'm making headway. And this is the other one that I've been working on. As you can see, we've added to him. Okay. I'm thinking, and I'm not entirely certain yet, I'm thinking of doing his shirt here in blue, but I haven't entirely decided. I might still decide to just go green with him. What do you think, guys? Where it comes to the figure here, his hat obviously is green. I'm saying I might do I can either do his shirt and the lapels the same color of green, the same mix of green, or I can go blue. But I'm not great on color match. So what do you figure, guys? It's just a work in progress. But I figure if I actually pay attention to what I'm doing, I can get it completed. Well, he's actually taking on shape. I just looked at him on the video there. It just came up on the other end. Now, okay, I've got those. That needs to be there. My desk, I was working on it. Now my desk is a bit of a mess. So now I just clear it off. Because I will tell you, if you don't keep your workstation organized, it gets to be a bit of a disaster, and it also bottlenecks itself. Okay, so what I'm looking at this point is simply getting stuff out of the way and worked on and laid out properly. Okay. I do believe most of that works. So what do we got here? If I walk over to this side, again, this is literally the way my life goes. Whoop. Cut that open and see what it is. Huh? What, pray tell, is this? Well, this is interesting. I have no idea what the heck this is. I will have to take this, and this is something from the bank, and I don't understand it. So today is Saturday. I'm going to have to take it in. No, today's Friday. So either Saturday or Monday, I'm going to have to take this in and find out what the heck it means. Because I don't get it. And pop that in there. Whoop. There we go. Oh, I've had that door open all along. Brilliant. Not the brightest thing I could have done. But hey, what the heck? There we are. Oops, I'm going to fall over. Now, my office is back in operation. Now, I will be right back. Now, we are literally down to just the last few minutes here. But I really do appreciate you guys dropping in. You have no idea, and I really don't know how to put it into words. Where are we? Somebody popped in. Gordana, how you doing? Glad you could join us. Of course, the reality is we're down to the last 2 minutes here. Whoa. Where are we here? Oh. Susan, the answer will be a yes, but I may not know them by the same name. That being said, if you can forward me some information about them, I will take a look at my notes and see what I've got. I'm dealing with, like, I'm working on more of those tonight as well. But if you can send me some information, I'll see what I've got in the way of notes. And on Monday, I will absolutely bring you up to speed. Now, let me see what I've got here, just because. But yeah, Susan Ahern has just asked about Yagyel and Sasani, which I'm pretty certain I've heard the names before, or at least the race. I just don't know if I know them by the same name, which is quite often the case. Now, tonight, we are looking at the chakras of your house. And tomorrow, on Saturday, we're going to be dealing with what does it mean to let go of the past. So many people talk about it, myself included. And unfortunately, the reality of it is most people don't seem to know what it is. So it's one of those things that we're going to have to look into and really clarify. Now, where are we here? Okay. I've got my office back in my control. This is a good thing. While you're in the process of redesigning your life and reorganizing it, it is absolutely critical that periodically you tidy it up. Okay? Because if you don't tidy it up, it will bottleneck. Don't take my word for it. You've seen what happens in your own world. Okay? Where are we here? Right there. You've seen what happens in your own world if you don't stay on top of keeping things organized. So, let's pop that there. These are blank. I always work with clipboards because they're easy to keep to contain. So I've got actually 3 clipboards I work with. Now, this information has to be brought. Nope, that doesn't have to be brought over there. Oh, what did I do there? Okay, let's grab this and make sure we get the next time, because I'll be on the go steady in here anyway. So I've got to do. What did I do yesterday? Took care of July and August. Hope that's August. Yeah, so I've got to do. Pull that out so I can write. Okay, now, because it's going to run out, what do we got here? Yeah, I suspect what I'm going to have to do as well is start really getting on top of things. Well, really getting on top of things and letting you know. Oh, that was what I got to do. Where are we? Gotta take a look at that. Because I'm sure I wrote it. I just need to get it moved where it's supposed to be. But I gotta find it. I've got one of the background for one of the Wolfpack's main characters. Okay, now these novels have been on hold for 2 years. It's time to get the third one racked off. That's Birth of the Wolfpack. Okay, I'll discuss that more, I think, on Monday probably, because like I said, looks like I'm going to be doing it like I'm going to be doing a day in the office on Friday and Monday to get me onto a regular pattern where I can get things done while I'm working. While I've got to be in the office anyway to get them sorted out. But this literally boils down to going, okay, here's a goal. let's watch it progress. Now, some of it I'll be able to do while I'm on air. Other things will have to be done off air, and they'll just bring you up to speed, which is the way the writing's going to have to go. Because I will tell you, I'll get really lost in the writing and forget to say anything. Now, with this in mind, we're hitting the 2-hour mark. So, I really want to say thank you so very much for sharing your time with me today. I will be back again. In this case, a day I'll be on tonight talking about the chakras in the home and in the business on air tonight on Positive Perceptions at 9 p.m. Pacific time. So I'll be back on the air in 2.5 hours. A day in the office will be done on Monday. Theoretically, everything should go well. So I'll end up on air on Monday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Okay. Until then, and until we talk again, do take care of yourselves and each other. And for pity's sake, stay positive.